So there's always like this scale of performance and comfort, and the more performance, usually the less comfort you're gonna get, and the more comfort, the less performance you're gonna get. So you're trying to find that fine line, but if you can carry completely comfortably every day, whatever gun you want, that's kind of invaluable.
You can see the riding on the pavement. Young kids, they're growing up in basements. Online, a whole new generation. I'ma make mine, so you better go take it. Always, they need a new...
What's going on, guys? Max Giuseppe here. I'm gonna give you the most valuable concealed carry video you have ever watched. For some of you, it's going to be absolutely life-changing, as it was for me when I first invented it. I mean, I just kind of came up with the idea and it ended up working out. I've shown it off passively throughout the years, and I've never actually talked about it that much. And at one point I kind of thought about making it a product, but let's be serious, I'm never going to do that. I'm not a clothing expert, nor do I make clothing, nor do I care to really get into this business. But if anyone from 511 or anything else wants to make this a real product, I would appreciate it so I can stop making custom pants. And maybe they could improve upon it slightly and stuff like that. But there it is. The concealed carry tip that I have for you guys is how to carry any gun you want, and it's the most comfortable way I have ever tried, I've ever seen anyone else try. And you can carry whatever gun you want completely comfortably without having to worry about it at all in any way. It's just, this is literally life-changing for you guys. And I'm gonna try to figure out how to best show this with my lighting and setup and stuff and my camera. But all right, so here we go. Right now, I have a really big gun on me. All right, I'm actually gonna point the camera down a little bit so you can kind of see my waistline, because my camera's FOV isn't huge. All right, so I have a humongous gun on me right now, and most people, especially in person, would never guess where this gun is, what I might have on me, and stuff like that. So in my pocket, I have a 50 caliber Desert Eagle. Okay, so this thing is ginormous, obviously, humongous, and it is completely comfortable to carry inside my custom pants. So now that you've seen it, and you might have seen it a little bit in the video, but that's because this video is about concealed carry, and I'm telling you it's on me, and you're like, oh, I can kind of see a little bit of a jut out right here. But when you look at these pants, over here, I have my, I actually would have the phone that this is filmed on, which is really heavy and big. It's a Galaxy Fold. So I would have that right here, and it makes a big square mark. Over here, you have the same thing, a square mark. That's from the muzzle of the gun right here, and you have a little square mark. But when you look at it, it looks just like a cell phone. So even though this is a huge gun, and if you looked at me, you would technically see that there's a square thing in my pocket. People don't realize it. Cops have been completely surprised. I've walked into my gun store just like this, and I'm like, I have a huge gun on me, where is it? And they're like, I'm not really sure. It's because people are used to seeing squares, thick, big squares, inside pockets because of cell phones. I have my battery pack, my cell phone that, I said, this is getting filmed on, is very big. It's a Galaxy Fold. So it makes a bigger square than this Desert Eagle's muzzle does. And then I have my wooden wallet and keys and stuff. I have that all in this other pocket, which kind of equate it to this. Now this is a Desert Eagle gun. This is the L5 Desert Eagle, humongous gun. This is just to stress a point. We're gonna go through a little bit of a collage right now of different shit that I've carried throughout the years with this setup. Boom! And you thought the Desert Eagle was kind of cool. All right, now I have another gun in my pocket. This shows way less. The Desert Eagle is by far the most printing gun because of the grip. It's the grip that's like so big and wide. But now I have another really, really big gun, really cool, in my pocket, like super ridiculously hard to see, and looks just like my phone and my wallet and my power bank and all that stuff. Out of the pocket, boom, I have my Maxim fucking 9. Okay, so this thing is completely comfortable and completely concealable in these pants. Maxim 9. Next one, boom. Another cool gun, Chiappa Rhino. Oh yeah. And I've actually carried my 60 DS Hunter as well. This is the 40 DS, even bigger, 6-inch barrel. 2011, the Infinity $6,000 2011, completely comfortable. Guys, like weight is negated by this carry method. Size is negated by this carry method. Amazing. Boom, 2011. Next one. All right, now we're gonna get into like very realistic carry guns that you would have in your pocket. I do carry the other ones. It's because I can and because it's fun. But here we go. We have another one. As I said, it literally levels out whenever I have my phone and everything else in my pocket. They look almost the exact same, each pocket. But inside, boom, PDP from the last video just completely melts inside this pocket. You don't even notice it's there. I can carry this full-size grip, 4-inch slide PDP. The light actually makes it more concealable because it ends up, let me move this camera up. Because what happens is it ends up looking like a cell phone. Once you make the muzzle the same width as a cell phone, or your wallet is the exact same size as the muzzle, once you make it look like that, this just looks like everything else. So while it does print, like I said, it does print a little bit, the end goal is to make it concealable, which nobody looks at a square in your pocket and they think anything of it. Like I said, I've asked cops, I've asked gun shop employees, where's my gun? No one has any idea. And it's because your eyes don't see a pocket with a square in it as something weird. And now let me dive into like some other guns that I put in my pockets. All right, now it is completely comfortable to carry those large guns in your pocket. I don't even know they're there. I carry my PDP every single day. I've carried that Maxim 9 just like for months at a time, every single day in my pocket like this. It's perfect. It's just so comfortable. You don't even know it's there, and you never even notice it until you have to come home and you just take your gun out and put it in your safe or put it wherever you want it. But you don't even notice it's there, and it allows you to carry these great guns. However, if you want to go and you carry something like this Ruger LCP Max 380 or this friggin' awesome thing, this is a Tomcat 32 ACP, very, very cool gun. These two guns also, like now you really don't even know they're there. Like you just throw it in your pocket and no one can even see it. It literally melts right in. Now let's go into what's actually going on with my pockets. All right, so now that we saw our nice collage of what I like to carry inside my pocket, even though how crazy and wild it can be, we're gonna talk about what makes these pockets unique and the pants unique and how you could make them if you want to, or if like I said, the 511 or some other company is watching that makes textiles, wants to recreate these, that would be awesome, because my tailor that I used to use to make these really well no longer is in business, so I'm having a hard time recreating them when I want to, finding like the proper material and stuff like that, and it seems like tailors can't do custom stuff anymore. They only can do like a seam on a leg. I don't know, it's hard to find quality work these days. But anyway, they are a sweatpant. Now you want a sweatpant because it's nice and fluid and the material is very comfortable. There's nothing more comfortable than a sweatpant, which is where I got this idea to begin with. And now ideally though, you want it to be a thicker material sweatpant. You don't want like a really thin athletic type sweatpant. You want more of like the comfy, thicker type sweatpants, more comfortable, but also for other reasons. The thicker material will not hug the gun as much, so it won't print as much. The muzzle will always like be heavier, and it will like print a little bit as a square on the bottom. But let me show you. People are used to seeing squares in your pockets all the time, and especially like when you have a light on a gun, this is the exact same size as a wallet. So when you see the muzzle printing or anything like that, it doesn't really matter. That's important when you have like the thicker material. The larger guns melt into that thicker material much easier, and you don't see like the fine lines of like the gun, or especially like the grip up top and stuff. That can tend to print more on like really thin sweatpants. I know, I've tried this. Trial and error has taught me how to make these things pretty well. It's also, the thicker material is stronger, and it's also better for protection, because in this carry instance, your pocket is the holster. So that's like the whole point of this design, and we'll talk about that when we talk about like safety and stuff like that. But so now, as far as the pocket is constructed, you want the top to be completely connected all the way to the end. That's very important, because that's what's gonna allow you to draw, especially with like a red dot or something like that on there. You want to be able to like have this nice open access to your gun so that it won't snag anything. And if that's not completely connected all the way, or if it's tapered or anything like that, you are gonna have a problem drawing the gun. The pocket itself, the opening of the pocket on the outside, you also want to make sure that that is big enough. That is very hard to open wider for a custom shop. So buying like the base pant, it doesn't matter, you're never gonna find a pocket big enough from like the factory. Like, you're never gonna buy sweatpants with a pocket big enough right away for like the normal size guns. I mean, yeah, you can have like your little pocket guns in there, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about having like a full size, comfortable way to carry your perfect CCW gun, whether it's a Glock 19, whether it's an actual good gun like a PDP or a VP9 or M&P, like all that stuff fits perfectly in this pocket as I showed, and normally what I carry is that PDP. So what I do is I have 8.5 inches wide at the top. That's how wide the pocket is. You want it completely straight. You do not want it to taper down at all. That's going to make the gun tilt weird. It's going to make it more uncomfortable, and the gun can't just fit nice and flat like this. So this is how the gun's going to sit in your pocket, nice and flat. If you have the pocket cut at an angle, it's going to sit like this. That's going to be way more awkward. It's also going to look weirder and stuff like that. So you want it nice and straight, just sitting in the pocket like that, so that when you go in, grab it, and pull it out, it comes out like that. And then back in, just like that. Now this is going to be your holster. So that's also like the thickness of the pocket also needs to be the same thickness as the exterior. You want it nice and thick. This is going to help from negligent discharges and stuff like that, a safety reason. And it's hard to get your tailor to find a thick material, because they're going to want to use like suit material, because that's what they normally deal with. They normally deal with suits. They don't normally deal with fleeces and sweatpants like that. So what you might want to do is buy a second pair of pants so that you can cut up, so that he'll be able to use that for the pocket, because they're not going to go out of their way to get like well, most of them won't. My first one did, and he got like the perfect material, and I loved it. But like most of them aren't going to go out of their way. They're just going to try to use like suit pant material, and that's going to be very thin, and it's not going to be good for the printing. It's not going to be strong enough. Another thing is you want to make sure that you tell them that this is going to be for a heavy object, or just tell them straight up it's going to be for a gun, and you need them to like double, triple, whatever stitch. This thing needs to be very strong stitched on the bottom, because that's where all the pressure from the muzzle is going to be. And when you have like a PDP or the Maxim 9 or the Desert Eagle, it's going to be putting a lot of pressure when you walk and stuff, and it's just it bounces a little bit. So there's a lot of stress going on those threads in the bottom. So you need to make sure that they know something heavy is going to be in this pocket, and it needs to be extra strong. All right, now let's talk about safety. So how safe is this? Well, I've been carrying this way for 7-ish years now. Almost every single day. The only time I don't carry like this is when I have jeans on or something like that, and then I have like a regular appendix Harry holster, which is better, like tactically speaking and stuff like that. Like appendix holster is way faster, it's more secure, and you can carry extra ammo. Whereas this isn't quite as fast, but it's eons more comfortable. So there's always like this like scale of performance and comfort, and the more performance, usually the less comfort you're gonna get, and the more comfort, the less performance you're gonna get. So you're trying to find that fine line, but if you can carry completely comfortably every day, whatever gun you want, that's kind of invaluable. And when we talk about like the safety aspect, I've carried everything from like my FN 509 tactical. I carried that for years. My VP9, the Maxim 9. I had a P365 I carried for a while, stuff like that. When you take into consideration safety, you might want to think about your lifestyle. Now, I have no kids. I don't have like a tiny dog or anything like that that will like jump on my lap. So I don't have to worry about that at all. I have nothing that ever comes and touches my leg. So if you have kids and stuff, then you might want to think about having like the pocket holster, or you think about having a gun like this with an external safety, and then you know you're completely safe because nothing can press the trigger, even if it's in your pocket, and something like you got a little kid like grab your pocket and like it ever hit the trigger, you know it can't go off because you have the safety. And even like stuff like this, like the Tomcat external safety, same thing. Very valuable if you are in a situation where you have kids and they're always around and like grabbing at you and shit like that. You have to take more precautions than like someone like me who never has anything like that happen. And I carried a P365 for like 2 years in my pockets just like this, which has no sort of trigger safety at all. That is less safe than having like your PDP or any of the other guns with the trigger bar safety. That makes it just significantly safer, so that like the only way that that gun can go off is if something like goes inside your pocket. So now you have the external thick layer, then you have the pocket thick layer. So you have 2 thick layers of fabric that it needs to like push all the way through and then come back. Like it's just like such a small chance that it's basically zero. Like it's not gonna happen. Like I said, if you have like little kids like just sitting on your lap and shit like that and like grabbing at your leg, then I guess it's more of like a consideration. But even then, like the gun is pointed down, so it needs to grab at your leg and then come up. I don't know, it's very, very, very unlikely. So as far as safety is concerned, I consider this completely like a safe way to carry a gun. The pocket acts as an effective holster. It acts as an effective trigger guard. And we can try it right now with one of my guns. So let's see if I can make it negligent discharge. All right, so we have my PDP. It is completely empty. So now pull the trigger. All right, so now I know I have an actual set trigger. The striker is all ready to rock, and I have it in my pocket. Now, what do I need to do to make this thing actually go off? I need something to go in and push and... So I already had a hard time. But, all right, so like that took an exceptional amount. You guys probably heard it. So the trigger did end up going off, but it took like an exceptional amount of effort and to push really in and then pull up to get that trigger bar safety to disengage. Now, look at how big the actual area for something to go into is very, very small. So like I said, guys, I consider this a completely safe way to carry a gun. Like, there is just, if something just like comes up and hits and brushes, it's never gonna go in there. So like it has to like literally go in the exact point, go in to both layers of fleece far enough, and then come up to pull. Like it's like it has to be deliberate. And as you can see, as I did that, it like keeps turning on the light because it has to like go in and like, you know. So if you have a proper pair of like thick fleece, it's basically zero. Like it's completely acceptable in my consideration, and I think it would be for you, as long as you don't have, like I said, like kids like grabbing at your pants and stuff like that. More considerations need to be taken. But as far as like us normal people who are just like walking around, we don't have people grabbing our pockets all the time, you're gonna be pretty safe. And another consideration is that like when you go on dates and stuff like that, and like people want to hug you, when you have a gun at your appendix, people always feel it. But this is another cool thing about this type of carry. People never feel it. They never ever guess that you have a gun on and you're super comfortable. Like there's so many benefits. And like I said, it's super duper safe. It's super easy. You don't need a specific holster for all of your guns. Just any gun you feel like carrying that day, throw it in your pocket. Another cool consideration about these pants is that I always like to carry at least like a knife. Now right here, I have my everyday carry. Boom, you just put it in your appendix on the clip, and then you can have like a little knife. Now this really isn't a defensive tool for me. For me, it's just like I need to open up letters and stuff like that, but it's part of my EDC and boxes and stuff like that. Another really cool thing that you can do is on your appendix right here, pepper spray. Now this is like a good defensive tool. They're super small. This particular one is like the palm, and it's super small. It's circular. It has that little clip right there. So you just come over here, you just clip it on the corner of your sweatpant, and you'll never even know it's there. Like you will forget it's there. You will have no idea it's there, and then like maybe one day a dog comes and tries to bite your dog, and bye-bye. So very useful, the sweatpant. The sweatpant is just like a tactical wonder for everyday carry. And this is all the reasons why. Like, boom, I have my Walther PvP, and at any point in time, I have 18+1 right in my pocket, and it's just super comfortable. I never have to worry about, oh, I feel like taking my carry gun today. Like, no, just throw it in your pocket and run. And you'll never even know it's there. And it's just, it's life-changing, guys. It's life-changing. And if anybody wants to make these, let me know. I could send you a pair of my custom pants. Or, as I said, 8.5 by 12 is the pocket. Make sure it's perfect rectangular. Make sure it's stitched on the outside and inside. And you're good to go. All right, guys. You're welcome.